I'm Mel Stewart, and this is SwimSwam podcast. Joining me today, we have a stalwart in swimming. We have somebody who's a little bit famous in swimming. I mean, everybody knows who this is. You know, you have to know the name SwimSwam. Today, we have the CEO and founder of SwimSwam, Lynne Anderson, who has deep swimming roots. And I'm excited to talk to her because I appreciate everybody that's in swimming. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks, Mel. Thanks for having me.
I want to get into the details and the minutia of swim business because I do love it. And it's most people see swimming news on SwimSwam, but half of what we do is interfacing with entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders in the marketplace, and it's a part that we really enjoy. You have deep swimming roots. You swam D1. You were a D1 full scholarship swimmer. Where did you grow up swimming? Where did you swim in school?
So I grew up in Purchase, New York. I swam for Harrison, and I ended up at Drexel in Philly, and I absolutely loved it. And they just actually beat Villanova in basketball. I don't know if you guys caught that game, so that's kind of interesting.
What is this?
And I love the sport. I love the pool. The water is my passion. Yada yada.
It's swimming. Swimming is a family. Swimming brings people together.
I have a lot of swim buddies. I go to all the pools. I like to swim in different pools. I like to swim open water. And I did coach masters for a while, like 10 years as well at Greenwich, the
But you,
YMCA.
but the masters coaching, you set that down for a little bit.
Excuse me?
You said you stopped masters coaching. You did it for 10 years and you stopped?
I stopped. And I thought I'd lose my identity, but I'm still at the pools. Why are you laughing at me? Yeah, so I do swim masters all in the Fairfield County area.
Well, I mean, it's master swimmers these are tried and true, passionate people about the sport. It is a lifestyle, and it's a different kind of animal, but it's people that swim masters, not everyone, but a lot of people grew up swimming. It's their culture. And then swimming masters are very, very close to the sport.
I love it. I love it. I love all the people. I love the pool. I love the workouts. And, it's also good for mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. Yeah. It keeps your brain balanced out.
It does.
That's the gift of swimming.
It definitely does for me.
It's okay. I have one more question, and then we're gonna get into Smack Swim. But I have to know: did you have like a go-to masters set, or like your perfect day in practice? What is your happy place, either coaching or swimming, when you're training? What's your thing?
Not distance. I don't like it anymore. But we do this set, and it's 5 laps, which is like a 125, and then you go a 25, and then you go 4 laps, 100, and then a 25. And then you go a 75, a 25, a 50, a 25, a 25, a 25. And I forget what that adds up to because it's a lot of odd numbers. But I love that set. And then you go back up. So, you get a little break, you get to chat, because that's what Masters is about. We have a whole conversation during that set, and your 5 seconds rest.
It's I think any coach and any swimmer who, anybody who puts 25s on the table, even it doesn't matter how many, it's working in. People
You
love
got
it.
to. Yeah, you got to. But people are going to steal that set. I'm telling you right now. That's a good set.
That's a Lynne Anderson set. It's
Yes.
copywritten, and she owns the IP on that. So if you use
Love
it,
it.
you got to pay her. She only requires a half a cent, but
Oh,
you have to mail it in.
we
Here's the thing. I want you to talk to me about your business. It's a lot of people, come out of the sport, and you've done this your entire life. You did it as a kid, you did it in college. And the funny thing is, like, you come out of the sport and it's like you got an MBA, JD, you have a PhD, you have real mastery and knowledge after being in a culture for so long. And some people apply that to businesses. What was the genesis? Why did you become
Well,
entrepreneurial in the sport of swim?
well, I feel like swimming definitely made me a very disciplined person. And I hear that a lot. I mean, you have to show up for practice. If you're leading the set, you better go on time. And there's just, there's just so many facets of what swimming does for people. Um, but anyway, what happened to me is I worked on Wall Street, and I was in a trading pit, and I was buying and selling corporates, bonds, and I made some money, and I hated it. Everybody was fighting about money all day, and I would sit at my desk, and I mean, everybody was sitting on top of each other. And I said, what could I do that I love? What is my passion? And I remember I stepped down, and on Wall Street, when you step down, you're out that day. Goodbye, get your stuff. And I said, I'm going to open a swim store. And I became a dealer, and it was named Circle Swim, and it was in Mamaroneck, New York. And I was a dealer for 15 years, and I loved it. We had retail, and we became a Speedo B dealer, and we had a huge wholesale for all the swim teams, all the lifeguards, all of that stuff. And I remember saying every time I swam, my head hurts, my head hurts. Because we're not just swimming for 20 minutes. I mean, we're swimming for a couple of hours. We're swimming open water. And that's what became, I invented the smack strap. And it's not just a colorful, cool goggle strap. It is scientifically proven through research, which I did. It stays flat, and it evenly adjusts the tension on the swimmer's head. And you can adjust it here, and it's a goggle replacement strap. Put a patent on this baby, closed up Circle Swim, and I started Smack Swim. And I remember I started calling the dealers, and they all started buying them, and it took off. So that's really how I started the company. And you got to get one because it's the most comfortable, ingenious thing. And it seems like a novelty item, but it is really functional.
I knew a little bit about being a team dealer. I knew a little bit about that. And just all the years, because we should say this as full disclosure. Smack Swim's been a partner with SwimSwam for years and years and years, and
Yes.
we're pretty proud of that. And it's so I know a little bit about your background, but it's interesting that you had a very professional career. You stepped away and tried to move toward joy, and but you also have mastery in the retail space. And dealers for a long period of time in swimming, being a team dealer was this. It was like an extension of your pool. It was a part of your family. You came in, you did fittings, and you knew your
I did it
team.
all.
Yeah, you knew your
Yes.
team dealer. Your team dealer was, but the market's changed. Everything's gone
Yes.
online, and you pivoted. You pivoted with this product.
Well, it was scary to pivot, but I did it. I took a risk. And being a team dealer was a wonderful experience, but it's a lot of hard work, as is this. And I got burnt out of the whole dealer and the fittings and the hours and the swim meets. And I had this idea, and I went from prototype to patent, and it wasn't overnight. It took years to get this baby. And you can get a patent, but unless you get your product on the shelf, what's the patent worth?
You know, what's interesting,
Nothing.
of course, what's interesting in swimming, particularly when it comes to products or any type of service you have in the sport, it's, but specifically with products and design, athletes will find something very specific that makes their life better, that takes a little bit of pain away, makes and provides comfort. And they are loyal. They're married to it. It's almost like a religious experience. It has to be a part of what you do and what you're bringing to the pool with your kit. So kudos to you for finding a solution. I swam my entire life. I swam for, from the age of 3 to 28 competitively. And yes, goggle headache is a real thing.
It is.
It's
And let me tell you, the reorders, once I have a customer, they're a customer for life.
So if
It's
you haven't tried,
ingenious.
if you got to hear that. I mean, it's one of these things where you have to try it. You have to try it
Yes.
to know.
Yes.
Which
So then what happened going down the road is during COVID, I mean, the whole world was shut down. And I run, a whole company and a sewing factory. And, we're proud to be made in the USA. And we spent time and we developed the smack suit. So that's what I did in my free time is we took the same technology and we put it on a bathing suit. So now here you have something that stretches. You can loosen the toggles, you can tighten the toggles. You could change the back. You could wear it 3 ways, like a bra crisscross or like a bra and cross. So you're swimming for hours. And I remember suits rolling up on me. It could stay flat. It expands. It's amazing. It's amazing. It doesn't wear on your shoulders. And, look, we even have the logo Smack on the back. It's the cutest thing going. We have all kinds of colors. This is orange.
Now, if you're listening on the download and you're in your car or you're taking a walk, Lynne was showing me the smack suit, and you've got to see it. I'm going to put a link directly to smack strap, so you'll know and denote it. Smack strap for your goggles and smack suit, and we're going to put up some images. So if you've been hiding under a rock and you haven't seen smack strap or smack swim, you will see it after listening to this podcast. In terms of your life as a swimmer, how much of your life is actually competing in a tech suit and all your technical gear, and how much is actually training? And it's the
like
solutions.
90-10, 90 training. Yeah.
You're always there. So you're always trying to find comfort. How has smack suit been received?
Extremely well. Early on, we did a Lycra, and now we're doing a 4-stretch poly, and that seems to be the ticket. It is the cutest cut. You could change the strap color, so there's all different, you could be yourself, you could express yourself, and it's been very, very well received, especially in the Northeast where we are located.
I was wondering, it's like, how do you run a company with one SKU, with one product? But I knew you'd been around a long time, and like it felt institutional in terms of smack strap. And when I saw you launch smack suit, I go, oh, Lynn's stepping it up. She comes stepping it up. She's coming at the market.
Yes, we're going to come out with a 2-piece. I mean, we do have product development, but it's one thing at a time. It's got to get product on shelves and then move to the next thing.
Are you in the lab? Are you developing anything else? Or are we talking too soon? Is that another podcast?
I think it's too soon. That's another podcast, Mel.
All right. Well, it's before we sign off, I have to like call out the elephant in the room. I do a lot of podcasts. SwimSwam is coming up on its 1,000th podcast. This is not the 1,000th podcast, but we're coming up on the 1,000th one. And but I must say that most people aren't pulling up the pro move. You look like you're in a studio. Tell us where you are and explain what this room you're in.
Okay, so we're in Greenwich, Connecticut, and we're in a barn, and it is the coolest workspace ever. It's surrounded by wilderness. There's 2 dogs out back, and there's sewing stations all around, and then there's racks of suits and straps and elastic, and we love where we work.
It's like
right near the water too. We paddleboard right down the street.
You've got a great life. This looks like an office. This looks like the barn office out of something like out of Home and Garden. And
it's so cool.
Kudos to you.
I love it here. And so do my employees. Oh, Mel, thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we love you, Lynne, and I'm so glad we could catch up and do this, and come back and talk to us again.
I would love to. Okay. Thanks a bunch.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.